So, what you want to talk about?
Real estate, real estate, real estate. Everybody wants to talk about real estate. Come to this conference, learn how to be rich in real estate. Real estate, real estate, real estate.
Yeah. Is that what we're
all the gurus.
I guess we're talking about it too.
All the gurus want to talk about real estate. How you can get rich in real estate. Real estate, real estate. No money down. Real estate, real estate, real estate.
Wait, what's the word again?
Real estate.
Okay, just making sure we're on the same page.
They're all full of
real estate? Okay. Alright, well, what about it?
What do you think about it?
What do I think about real estate?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, I wouldn't have bought this house if it wasn't for you.
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking about real estate, I would have never bought this house. I was very content living in my condo on the beach until Hurricane Florence came and damaged the whole apartment complex, condominium place, and we had to move out. But
isn't it interesting how things have to come up to like nudge you in the right
they
direction?
really do. They really do. Because I would have been there forever. I would have been probably about 40 years old. 10 years from now, living in the same condo, paying the same, well, he increased our rent twice, but that's besides the point, paying the same rent on that condo because I loved it. Like, but I would have been paid that condo off. It should have been my condo. We had easily put $35,000 to live there
in 2 years.
Yeah, going on the third year probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I would have never bought this house because in my mind, housing has always been like a permanent thing. Like growing up, families were not trying to flip houses, sell them, and do all this other crazy stuff with real estate like they do now. It was like your forever home. You're buying your forever home, and I don't even know where my forever place is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that really stressed me out. So, I would have never bought this house if it wasn't for Nate. We're paying about the same as we would living on the beach or living in Newport on those beautiful beautiful apartments. But now we're actually putting money towards a home that's going to be ours. That's ours.
Yep.
We're not giving money to a landlord or whatever those middle people are called, management companies.
So there's a huge argument between whether someone should buy or whether someone should rent based on where they're at in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And each argument, has good relevant points. At the time when we moved down here, we hadn't stayed in a place more than 2 years ever.
Yeah.
So that argument would be, instead of paying money for maintenance on a place to live, you would take that money and invest it somewhere, whether it be in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, silver, gold, Bitcoin.
But we came
whatever.
We came down here with none of that because
But
you
the
didn't even
truth
have
is-
a job.
But the truth is, people don't do that.
I
They
was
rent and still don't invest.
I was only making $15, $15 an hour that I had to fight for. There was no extra money for us to be doing any extra stuff when we first got down here, though. Like, I only had one income. There was only one income. Because
Yeah,
we
when we
moved. Because
first
we
came
moved.
out here.
Yeah, because we moved here because I got a job here,
Yeah.
and you were like, "Yeah, let's go." So there really wasn't any extra money.
We weren't in a position when we moved down here for them to give us a loan
Oh, for sure, I wouldn't have got a loan.
for real estate down here, even though the prices were super low at the time, unlike now where they're through the roof.
I mean, I didn't even have job history. Like, I wasn't
Yeah.
even at the same job for 2 years.
Right.
Well, I wonder if they would have given me a loan because I was
Still with the
still with the town.
yeah. But
City of Greenville. So I'd already been with them for about 2 years. They might have given us a loan, but it would have been a very small loan. Like I probably wouldn't have been able to afford anything at that time here.
Right.
Being at the beach, but anyways.
So there's that argument, where you take the money you would be saving on maintenance, because houses cost $2,000 to $3,000 a year in maintenance.
How'd you come up with that?
It just is what it is.
I mean, that's like a fact? Or you just made that number up?
Well, in rentals, you always take half of whatever you're making and put it into a maintenance account.
I'm just curious. Go ahead. Okay.
That's where I came up with that.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious for the audience. I want to look it up too.
So if say your payment's $950, you're renting it for $1,200. That gives you what, $250 in profit. So you would take $125 and put in a maintenance account, and $125 would be your profit.
Okay.
Right. 125 times 12 is.
This is according to Google. Generally speaking, you should expect to spend between 1% and 4% of your home's value each year for maintenance. This means that if the cost of your home is $200,000, you should probably save anywhere between $2,000 to $18. I'm making numbers up. $2,000 to $8,000 annually. So yeah, what'd you say? $1,200?
$2,500.
Okay, so you were about right. Because our home wasn't worth $200,000.
It is
we
now.
bought it. Yeah. Excuse me, I apparently can't read from Google, so yeah, $2,000 to $8,000 annually.
Yep.
Okay. I just want to know where you came up with that number.
So if you were renting and you took $2,000 to $8,000 and invested it instead of putting it into your house,
we didn't do that.
That's the argument for renting.
We messed up.
But nobody does that. That's the point.
I was gonna say we didn't do that either.
To me, that argument is null and void.
I mean, technically I did, but I just saved money.
Yeah, it was just stacking the bank account.
Yeah.
It was losing value.
Yeah. I mean, but I was preparing for maintenance.
Right.
That I didn't know about.
So.
Anyways. And
then that's assuming that you get a great landlord that'll actually come and fix stuff so you can live there. A lot of landlords aren't fixing anything. They're going to be like, "Yo, it was perfect when I gave it to you, so you have to maintain it too." That's
the debate.
That's why you'll come into and be able to buy rentals on the cheap, because that landlord didn't take care of it, and then that tenant finally moved out after 12 years and getting fed up with it, and then that person doesn't have the money to fix it, so they get rid of it for cheap. Right? I
mean, you can't act surprised. If you're a landlord, you can't act surprised if you haven't heard from your tenant, and your tenant hasn't told you anything about the property, anything that could be fixed or upgraded or whatever, and you haven't heard from that tenant in years, that's your own fault. You should be following up with your tenant. You should be doing at least monthly or bi-monthly inspections. I mean, or at least quarterly, maybe every 6 months, whatever. We went and looked at a house that when we were trying to buy that triplex, and those people didn't change they're responsible for the air filter. There was that one guy that had 100 air filters in his closet.
Probably had allergies.
Right, but he changed it, but then that other person didn't change their air filter. They did not care. That's what I'm saying. You as a landlord need to go in and do an inspection and say, hey, just giving you a heads up, it's your yearly 6-month inspection. I'm just going to come around. I'm not trying to go through your business, but I'm just going to check the air filter, change it out, You know, just those little maintenance things. Go check and see if your sink is running properly. Like, making sure it's draining good. Make sure your appliances still work. Like, the dishwasher in that triplex didn't even work. They used it as storage.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
They were using it as storage. The dishwasher didn't even work.
But it's just like your water heater every year is supposed to be drained out.
I'm not doing that.
You know.
We don't know how long that water heater's been there, so you could cause worse damage to that, but...
Just to go in there and do that, you know.
But we're learning. We learn.
The landlords, you know, are lazy. That's why they like real estate, right? So.
I mean, but even if they hired a management companies
don't care at all. Like, all they care about is the bottom line.
And if they're getting paid their little 8%,
they don't get paid to maintain your property. They get paid to make sure your property is rented.
I will say that. Well, I really didn't have that many landlords. I felt like our landlord at the beach did an okay job compared to
other places we lived.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I've never had like a really, really bad experience personally, but I'm also very persistent, and I think that they kind of know that too. Like, I'm not trying to get blamed for this, so I'm letting y'all know. Whether y'all want to come fix it or not, if it's detrimental and it's going to affect my way of life, then they're going to come fix it. But if it's something stupid, like I don't know, like a cabinet not closing correctly or whatever, like that doesn't bother me. But I'm going to let them know that I didn't do that. And it was like that when I got it. But it was just crazy to see that they had let that property, like when you go out, and we went outside, that triplex, like the sheds, all of the sheds were water damaged, like falling apart. They reeked. I mean, like, that's not a huge deal, but it's still like part of the property. Like, don't, like, you should be, if you're not gonna fix it, then tear it down. Like, that's a hazard, you know. And he didn't know that he had to upgrade those electrical units. He had been renting to somebody, and electrical units were out of date. Like, he didn't even know that. And we paid that inspector to go check it out, and we didn't even get the property. But it helped, I guess, the next person, so you're welcome, whoever bought those triplexes.
Right.
You're welcome. Paid $750 for those inspections.
But why is it so easy for gurus to push real estate?
I mean, I feel like it's easy. I don't know. Easy?
Because of a thing called leverage.
Oh, I mean, I'm not over leveraging myself.
So, real estate is bought using mortgages, right? And as time has gone on, you know, more and more mortgage companies take less money down, especially on your first home, to get those mortgages. So you're having more and more leverage. So for 5% down, or 5,000 on 100,000, you know, you can put down $5,000 and get $100,000 item, right?
Yeah.
So, and just take ours for example. You know, in August will be 2 years of us being in this house, and our house will be worth $70,000 more than we paid for it. So
yeah,
you put less than 10 grand down,
sir,
to make $70,000.
I'm about to say, sir, it was not. It was more than 10 grand.
Okay.
With everything together, I think it was about 12.
Okay, 12. It's still it was easier to do the math with 70 to 10.
Since when do we do things the easy way?
Never.
Just really like.
You always want to make it difficult.
Whatever. There were so many things that we could have done easier that we didn't do.
Yeah.
But
you
yeah.
understand the point. Like you're getting a 7 to 10 to 1 on the money that you're personally having to come up with, and you're using somebody else's money to make you money.
Well, what's wild is that we negotiated down $25,000 maybe, or $30,000.
Yeah, the property was originally listed for $189.
Well, it was originally listed for $199.
Okay.
Or something like that.
It was $189.
Because then it fell under our criteria.
Right.
That's how you saw it. Did it fall to $179 then?
Yeah.
Okay, then it fell to $179.
And then we you negotiated it from $179 to $157.
Yep. I was like, I ain't playing games this time, and I'm not paying nothing up front. I'm not doing no due diligence, earnest money. I think we did $100 earnest money.
Yeah.
We did $100 earnest money. I was not playing any games this time. I was like, if this is not meant to be, then she won't agree to it. And because I'm not putting all this money down that I'm not going to get back. I didn't put any due diligence money down, right? Because that's not the one you get back.
Right.
I didn't put none of that down this time. Because I mean, what did we have to lose? Nothing. We just renew another month at the apartment. And I'd already been crushed because we lost this triplex that we invested all of our time, money, energy. I mean, we thought that was going to be it. Like, they survived a hurricane. Like, I found another job immediately. It was like, seemed like it was meant to be, and it wasn't. It fell through. It wasn't the right thing. But yeah, like, so the point is that it dropped. The house was worth $157 or whatever.
We paid $157.
We are paying $157 for the house. So imagine if it was more than that, and then I would have had to put more of a down payment down. And I wouldn't say I barely had that money, but I mean it would have been really tight, really tight. Because right after I got the house, I quit my job. So. Mortgage company, I didn't know that, but I got one now, I guess. But I mean, I found one.
Your full-time job was working on this house.
Yes, my full-time job became working on this house.
So we put another $8,000 into the house to fix it up, redo the floors, repaint, redo the ceilings, fix leaks in the roof, stuff like that.
Maintenance on the trees, cut down
all the trees
in the backyard
that were overgrown and growing
up
out of whack and up the chimney. Yeah,
we did that. We didn't pay anybody.
No. So
we did a lot. We did a lot.
So that brings us to the second part of real estate that makes it good for normal people, is that you can put sweat equity into the property.
We put sweat, tears,
so if you can
blood.
If you can physically do the work yourself over time you can add value to your home. To either refinance, do a home equity line of credit, or even to sell it and move
We're
on
not selling
to somewhere else.
We're not moving on.
And
this will forever be a family beach home.
And sweat equity is definitely the way, most normal people would start out. You find something that, most people don't want because it smells funny, or, it has a little bit of
it had animals,
dated stuff, or
had animals,
had animal hair everywhere,
needed to get painted,
needed paint, had a hole in the side of it, whatever. Because
even the ceilings had like stains on it.
Smoke stains.
Those little, but like also like water stains. Wasn't there like a couple spots that have like the?
Yeah, because they had holes in the roof.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If you can see our house now, if you can see the roof now, it looks amazing. Not the roof. What is this? The ceiling.
So of course, you know, you realize what your skill level is and what your skill level is not,
and what you thought it was.
Me personally, you know, I'm 295 pounds. I'm not getting on a weak roof to try to repair it.
Or in the attic. You did a couple of times, but
our house has lofted ceilings, so vaulted ceilings, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. So the passageway from this side of the house to that side of the house is about this big.
It's meant for like a 5'1", like 100 pound.
There's no way I'm going through there with materials
to go fix the other side.
I
mean, heck, we didn't even know there wasn't any insulation on the whole other side of the house.
That's right.
We were living here like 7 months before we realized that. And I mean, it is what it is, but we got it fixed though. So
yeah.
We
found a guy that was 5'1", 120 pounds,
and he went right on over there.
He got right on over there and was able to fix everything for us, and
it was awesome.
We're very appreciative of that.
Shout out.
Yeah, so you have to know your limitations when it comes to stuff like
weight and height was our limitation.
Yeah, for sure. You know, everything else you can pretty much figure out: drywall, sanding, painting,
flooring,
flooring.
And roofing also, you weren't going to get on the roof, so...
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Like on it.
Yeah.
To fix the roof.
Right. When it was weak already, like I wasn't getting up there. It won't happen. So...
I will say, I do remember you trying to paint that wall area, and then you were doing that, or you were taping it up, and then your hand went like straight through the wall.
Yeah.
Like she had, and it's whatever. But she had this, we didn't realize it, it's something to look out for. Decorations, move them decorations around when you're looking at a house, because there was a huge like mural right there, like covering that whole fireplace area. We would have never even known anything was wrong with it.
Yep.
And then, but when we started taping, hand goes through the wall. You know, and that's when we knew we had that roofing problem.
But I never patched a wall before.
We learned how to do that.
Now I know how to do that.
You put a beam in it, everything.
Yeah, put wood behind it.
Yeah.
So it would hold the putty.
Yeah. Yeah. That was cool.
It was cool.
It's cool to think about now, but I was like kind of stressed out. But it's fine.
Oh yeah, you were stressed the whole time. It was hilarious. Maybe one day we'll post those videos when you're famous and stuff.
We can post
they
them.
can go viral. No, I'm gonna hold them till they go viral.
Oh my gosh. Just stuff like that. It was just, excuse me. Whew, excuse me. Just stuff like that. It was just, wow.
So you got leverage.
Okay, back to that.
You know, lets you get.
You said sweat equity.
So it lets you get 10 to 1 on your money. Right? So if you got $5,000, lets you get a $100,000 asset. Right? And then sweat equity allows you to add value to the home by improving it. Yourself or hiring contractors to do it.
Which we did a little bit of both.
Yeah, which we did both. Right? Because, you know, you have to know your skill level. What else?
More limitations.
What else?
What else? What do you mean?
So,
about real estate?
About real estate, yeah.
I know it's high now, but you want to talk about that?
So it's a asset that is increasing in value over time because more and more people are being born, more and more people are turning 18 needing housing, and there's not enough housing for everybody. It's limited.
I don't think it's more and more people are being born.
It is a limited resource.
I think more and more people are living longer independently.
No, that's true as well.
So, for example, I'm pretty sure the lady that was living in this house was 76 or something.
Right.
She was older.
Mm-hmm.
And at 76, you know, however many years ago, I don't know, that's kind of like borderline you would be living in an assisted living area.
Mm-hmm.
Like you wouldn't be 76, 77 living on your own. But shout out,
grandma is 90 living.
I was about to say,
so shout out grandma.
She's 90. She is doing the thing for sure. She's living independently. She still cooks. She cooks, cleans. She gets on ladders, which she shouldn't. She does yoga. Like she drives still. Like she dances. I mean, she's amazing.
She sure is.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but that's what I really don't think it's more people are being born. I just think it's more people are living independently and pushing their, you know, some of them pushing their limits a little too far. They probably shouldn't be living independently, but have no other choice.
So basically, everybody needs a place to live.
Yeah.
Right. It's a limited resource that cannot be replicated. Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, and all the land is getting bought up
right.
to convert to housing. And then a lot of people don't even want to buy new housing because then you have to wait. So all of the housing
that is already built,
that's already is
getting snatched up immediately,
like instantly. Like the house on the street said free pizza with purchase. They didn't need that free pizza sign. I know it was cute, but someone was gonna buy that without the free pizza, obviously.
For sure.
Like it was cute. It got my attention, but the house also was cute and got my attention too. So. Like there weren't that many houses in our neighborhood for sale. Now, you know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, now you're seeing a lot more of it pop up on the market, and they're high too. Like, so I'm thinking like, oh, my house is kind of comparable to that.
Oh yeah, easily.
You know, if not nicer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to see. What was your point? People were being born. The demand.
Housing is a limited resource with increasing demand.
Yeah,
it can't be replicated.
But my thing is here, like I can't see that here. It kind of is interesting because there's not that many. Are you rolling your eyes at me?
No.
Oh, you were like. So I thought you were
rolling my back where you got me propped up.
Yeah, because you leaned back too far. It's interesting because there's not a lot of jobs here, like high-paying jobs here. So it's interesting. It's more of like a, you know, hospitality, like restaurant. Mm-hmm. There's the port, there's the town, and there's the school system. Like those are like the biggest industries. You know, there's a community college, yeah, and fishing. But does that really make, you know what I'm saying? Like, what attracts people here? That's
the beach.
The beach does. But if you're a family, like trying to buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is attracting these people to move here when the jobs aren't here?
The beach.
Yeah, I guess. But it just makes me curious about it, really.
Let's say most people that live here don't live here the whole year. Live here for the summer. It's their summer home, second home.
We live here all year.
Yeah, we're not most people.
Oh, that's true. Very true.
So,
I was gonna say
housing, a limited resource that appreciates. All right, what else? What else makes real estate a good asset? So we talked about using leverage before, right?
I'm about to say, can't you just have it forever?
So then you can have somebody move in and pay you more than you're paying for it.
Oh yeah, house hacking.
Well, yeah, you can house hack too, but I'm not talking about house hacking at the moment.
Were you going to talk about it?
So somebody can rent the house from you.
While you're living in it?
Yeah, that's house hacking.
Oh, okay. So you're not talking about house hacking.
And then they're actually paying your mortgage, your debt off, making your credit score go up, paying down your principal payment, adding to your net worth.
That could happen, yeah.
So you're using somebody else's work, somebody else's time, hourly wage.
But we all saw what happened with COVID.
Oh yeah,
And those
the
people
government did not
have to
protect
pay.
the homeowner, the landlord.
Right. So your little 6 months of, no, I mean, this didn't happen to us, but your little 6 month emergency fund just got blown out because it's been, you know, a year and a half, 2 years, going on 2 years, it seems like.
That's not 2 years.
At least a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like, so imagine all those people that didn't have a year and a half emergency fund because they only told you to have a 6 month emergency fund.
Well, they talk about that in the FIRE movement, right?
What?
That most downturns in the economy last 18 months.
Oh, then
So
we
the
need to
FIRE
have an
movement-
18-month emergency
So the
fund.
FIRE movement believes in an 18-month emergency fund. So
That proved it.
When the market's down, you don't have to pull money out of your investing accounts.
If you even have them.
Well, you would in the FIRE movement.
That's
Right, but yeah, most real estate people do not have a 6 month emergency fund,
I mean 18 months.
let alone an 18 month.
Right.
Right.
That was
So,
that was interesting.
you know, that's the number one way to build wealth, right? Is to have someone else paying you to build your wealth. Right.
So the second one's house hacking.
Yeah, so then you can house hack as well, where you rent out rooms of your house, and then that pays off your mortgage,
Or contributes to it.
or makes it a lot less, so it makes it easier for you to live.
I feel like a lot of people do that at the beach too.
Oh, I mean, you should. Like, it should be like an automatic thing, you know. There are people that are here temporarily, 6 months, 3 months, 8 months, 12 months, especially in a military town, you know.
Yeah.
So, short term, you can have somebody rent a room, you know, and that way, you know, you pay your mortgage, and instead of you coming up with that $1,000 a month for a house, you can take that $1,000 a month where you're house hacking and invest that, or saving to get an additional property, right? So, you know, house hacking is definitely a great way to build wealth, especially, you know, before you have children and stuff.
I'm house hacking right now. Just kidding.
For sure.
I'm just playing.
I'm paying it all.
No, you're not. Don't say
But
that. I'm just playing. What's the next thing?
So those are the positives of real estate. You remember what they were? Let's test her, ladies and gentlemen.
House hacking.
Number one, that's not house hacking. What was number one?
I'm not. I don't know. I don't know. Can I
Go
just do them
backwards.
in my
Go
own-
backwards. It's fine.
I want to do them in my own order.
Okay, you're on.
House hacking. The other one where you rent it out and it's a mortgage. They pay your mortgage. What is that? Just a renter, long-term renter. Leverage.
Okay.
That's 3. Limited resources. Sweat equity.
Also called forced appreciation. Sweat equity.
That was it.
Okay, so you said leverage.
We're doing this again.
Sweat equity.
Leverage, sweat equity. Renter.
Limited
Long-term,
resource.
limited resource, long-term renter, house
Okay.
Was that it?
So those are the positives?
Yeah.
Also, when you go to sell,
Aren't we a positive?
you can
channel?
make up to $500,000 when you're married if you've lived in the house for more than 2 years.
What are you hitting at?
So it's a great way to earn tax-free money.
Oh my God, Pookie.
What?
Are you gonna ask me to marry you
No.
again?
Already did.
Just kidding.
Go put
I
your
thought
ring
this
on.
was an engagement, another engagement redo. A proposal redo. I'm gonna do my hair and Lindsay did my nails.
Okay.
We were prepared for this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't.
Guess not.
I'm just playing. Go ahead. Finish.
All right. So now we're going to talk about the negatives
No, we're not.
of real estate.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
This is a positive channel.
Okay. What positively negative things can you talk about?
I need a timeout because with this rain, I have to go to the bathroom. Can we take a minute pause?
Sure.
You can talk what you can talk about. And I'm just going to slither off this. Stop.
You're so stupid.
I was slithering off. Go ahead.
There's no go ahead.
Oh, okay.
All right. So what are the negatives of real estate?
2008.
What happened in 2008?
The Big Short. Is that right?
Okay, that's what one person did against what happened in 2008.
I love that movie so much, though.
No, we gotta watch it.
They
now.
were
Shoot.
giving mortgages to dogs. And
Right.
then calling those mortgages. It wasn't, what did the percentage mortgage rate? Not the fixed one, but they had those ones that are up and down. What's that called?
Adjustable
You
rate
forgot?
mortgages.
Adjustable rate mortgages.
All right. So,
ARMs.
So ARMs. So most investors use adjustable rate mortgages.
Not us.
5-year to 10-year adjustable rate mortgages, with the intention of refinancing once the property appreciates or goes up in value, and then they do what's called a cash out refinance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all well and good until something happens in the economy and the price of your home decreases.
Yep.
Like jobs going overseas, or you know, the main employer in the area goes bankrupt, or whatever could happen to make the stock market go down. I mean, not the stock market, the housing market go down, the economy go down. Right? So you're seeing something very similar to what was happening then, happening now, where people were overpaying for housing just so that they can close on it, be the one that actually gets the deal. You put something on the market and you got 20 offers within 24 hours, all over asking price. You know? So that speculation is very scary,
For sure.
right?
Yeah.
But there's always a sucker out there that gets stuck
Holding the bag.
holding the bag, right? Just like
Unless you're like me, who held the bag for AMC. Bop, bop, bop. Now it's.
now you held it for like 4 months.
I should have held it from all the way in the beginning and never sold it originally.
Yeah, you had it for like $2.
It was like 5, but yeah. But yeah, it's fine. Anyways, we're talking about real estate.
Yeah. So that's a negative for real estate. Real estate can actually go down. Most people don't believe that it ever will go down, right? It'll always go up. I can always refinance.
I mean, but those gurus that talk about
leverage is still debt, right? You still owe the money whether you have a job or not.
But even those same gurus talked about same situation. They don't talk about it often
Mm-hmm.
because they don't want people to think that that's something that could happen. But they've talked about it.
Right.
You know, Grant Cardone, didn't Grant Cardone talk about it?
Oh yeah, he talks about 2008 all the time. Lehman Brothers collapsing.
Mm-hmm.
And how he told his wife we're all going to die.
I mean, we are all going to die one day.
Yeah.
But anyways, yep.
She
That's
said,
one
she
example.
said, no, you promised to take care of us and blah, blah, blah.
Well, if she dead, he can't take care of her either. So that was smart,
Yeah.
Katie, whatever her name is.
Elaine?
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, Elena.
Oh, Elena. Is it Elaine or Elena?
Elena.
Look, you don't even know her name. Okay, Elena.
Anyway.
I still like you, Elena. I'm just saying. I forgot your name. My bad.
So, the first negative.
We already said the first one.
Oh, the second negative.
I was like, where have you been?
So, the second negative
Uh-huh.
of real estate is...
Maintenance.
Okay, so you have maintenance costs.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just
That
doing...
can be a negative.
That's a negative for a lot of people.
Something breaks, you have to fix
have
it
to
or have the
fix
money
it.
to fix it.
A lot of people buy townhouses because they don't have to maintain the outside.
Yeah.
Someone does it for them. A lot of our people.
Well, they technically pay for it, right?
Millennials. Yeah, they pay the homeowner fees.
So homeowner fees is another negative.
We do not have those.
So
I don't believe in those.
Our criteria looks for houses that do not have that.
But also,
But what's the risk of...
hold on, but also looking in the area to see what the other houses look like around you. Like,
Yeah.
because the risk is that people don't maintain their properties and then they look like crap, and then your house, like, you know what I'm saying, it brings the value down of your
house.
neighborhood down. We're very fortunate to have people that take care of their area around us.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's negatives about being in a neighborhood that has a homeowner association, because some of them don't uphold the rules unless it benefits them.
Right.
So I think this is a quick side note. We go to the next one. But like in my mom's neighborhood, I think like only 10% can be rented out
Mm-hmm.
for like rental properties and whatever. They don't follow that rule.
Definitely.
You can't park on the street. Everybody parks on the street, like, because it benefits the people that are empowered, because they're the ones renting their houses out and there's no parking, so their people park on the street.
Yep.
But that's a side note. That's why I'm not a fan of homeowners association. Unless they're going to give me a pool and it's going to stay open year round and it's heated, I'm not signing up. Go ahead.
So yeah, homeowners association can definitely be a huge negative.
Mm-hmm.
But then the non-HOA places, so somebody could randomly be, adding stuff to their neighborhood or to their house that negatively affects yours. So, such as an RV park in the front yard or something, whatever. But
I mean, that doesn't impact me.
anyway. So real estate is something that is not easily sold, right? Because it's dependent upon
Buyers.
mortgages, and
Yeah.
mortgages take
And
time.
qualified buyers.
And qualified buyers.
Mm-hmm. I think we're running out of those, but go ahead.
So it's not easily bought and sold. Like a stock you can buy and sell
In
all day
2
long.
seconds.
You go do, and click and buy and sell all day long.
Yep.
Whereas it may take 60 days to sell a house.
I mean, that's the bare minimum.
It might take 6 months to a year to sell a commercial property.
Mm-hmm.
So, that makes it dangerous because the market can fluctuate in those amount of times, right?
That's true.
you may have somebody that's willing to buy the house for 60 days, and then all of a sudden their financing falls through because their bank goes bankrupt or something.
And then you just held a property for 60 days that you had to continue to pay for.
And maintain.
And still continue to pay for until someone else puts the offer in.
Right.
So, all right, what's the next negative?
So if you go to flip houses, you end up paying about half of what you make in taxes, right? Short-term capital gains on the property.
I'm not paying.
So you go make, so all these shows show, oh, I made $50,000 on a flip. Well, $20,000 or $25,000 of it went to taxes.
Oh, because they didn't hold it for long enough.
Right.
That's dumb.
Right. But
or did they show you that? Maybe they do that and they don't show you.
Yeah.
That they hold it. I don't think they would hold it for 2 years though.
No.
On those shows. Or is it 2 years or 1 year? It's 2. 1.
It's 2 years.
2.
For real estate. Whereas it's just a year and a day for stocks.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
So maintenance,
HOA,
HOAs,
2008 market
crashes, not being able to refinance, and the fact that real estate is not bought and sold easily because it's a big purchase item, big ticket item.
Yeah.
Right. Anything else? As far as
I said maintenance too.
Yeah, we said that. Maintenance.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that part. I mean, that's all I can think of right now.
And I guess a bad neighbor or something.
I mean,
you get that in
apartments
too. So.
And they're not going to let you move, so.
All right, so down to the nitty gritty. What is our real estate criteria?
Ours personally?
Yeah.
1980
and newer.
And newer. No HOA.
We particularly want between 1980 and 1996.
Because the houses were made better.
Because of the type of wood houses were made with.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't cheap material.
No HOA.
No HOA.
A slight fixer-upper, but like no structural damage to the house.
Right.
But
no foundation issues.
But slight stuff like what we did to this house that we could upgrade, like painting, flooring, ceilings. Wake up.
Hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Whatever. Leaks.
Not in a flood zone.
No flood zones, for sure. Which is crazy that there is such a thing as not a flood zone when you live at the beach.
Well,
right.
There technically everything is in a flood zone here, but it's like the minimal flood zone. Like we're in an X flood zone, I think. I'm pretty sure, which is the bare minimum, which you don't need to have flood insurance for, but
you still should have it.
You still should have it. It's not that expensive. I think it's like $500 a year or something like that. $400 to $500 a year, just in case.
You just never know.
For people that are in a flood zone. But if you're in a flood zone, you're paying like probably 10 or 15 times that price.
For all we know, a storm drain could get clogged up and back up into the road and then flood us out.
I hope not. Don't talk about that. I'm not be dreaming about that tonight.
You just never know.
Because it's raining now.
So that's why you have flood insurance.
I hope that doesn't happen though.
I hope not either.
But that's why you have insurance. On the floor. Not a lot, but whatever. Okay. What else?
So we want our property to follow the 1% rule.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's probably like the most important.
So the 1% rule says that the property will rent for 1% of the purchase price, right? So if you pay $150,000 for a property,
do you know what 1% of that is?
that is $1,500.
Oh. I was going to do the math.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. Keep going.
Times 0.01. Right? Yeah, good. So $1,500 a month. So what do you do if it doesn't follow the 1% rule? What do you have to do to make it follow?
House hack?
No, you have to pay a bigger down payment.
Oh, okay.
So say a house was $220, but they would only rent for $1,600. You would have to have a $60,000 down payment to make it follow the 1% rule, so you would actually make money.
Right.
And be cash flow positive. Right?
Positive.
So that you could afford to do the maintenance on the property over time.
Yep.
And saying most gurus, what do? They show you that only 20% down or 5% down, when in reality, to make things follow the 1% rule, you're going to be paying more down than that, so that you actually make money every day, every month. Right? So that's the biggest thing for us, is to follow 1% rule.
Yep.
So 1980 and newer.
1% rule.
1% rule.
No HOA.
No HOA. No flood zone.
No flood zone. That's it. You think you're missing something?
Mm-hmm. Only minor cosmetic damage.
Yeah, that's what we're missing. Cosmetic.
But that's called,
I'm sorry.
like a fixer-upper. It's called buying a wedge property, where you can add small value to make it worth more. To force appreciation on the property. That's what we're looking for.
Yep.
So if you got one of those, holler at us. This has been our podcast on real estate.
Real estate.
Like I say, real estate is one of the best investments out there. You know, if you have the opportunity to purchase, you definitely should purchase over renting, in our opinion.
If it works best for you. And the math is right.
Like I say.
And the property is right.
Right. If you follow the criteria, you pretty much can't go wrong. If you make it follow the 1% rule, you're going to make money.
Yeah.
You know, you keep an 18-month emergency fund.
Yep.
So if your payment's $1,000 a month, that's $18,000 in an emergency fund. Makes it a little harder than this 5% down they always tell you about, right? 3.5% FHA.
FHA.
Or 0% USDA.
Should have done that.
No.
That's a whole other topic. I'm just playing. But yeah.
But this has been the So What You Want to Talk About podcast. If you got stuff from this video helped you, make sure you like and comment down below. Tell us what you thought.
I mean, even if it didn't help you, you just want to comment, I'm cool with
Yeah,
that.
if you hate what I said, hit the dislike
No,
button.
don't hit the dislike button. I just want to hear some feedback. But
like I say, you should always be educated in stuff that you invest in.
don't always take people's word for it. Do your
Right.
own research.
Do your own research.
But also do what's best for you.
Yeah. So I'm Nate.
I'm Meredith.
And this is So What You Want to Talk About podcast, and we'll see you next time.
So what you want to talk about?